all over them. All over them.
It seemed like a lifetime ago since she had been on her hands and knees cleaning the base of the windows in the huge arcade. It was always empty when she had to do her work, but now, in the middle of the day, with the paths, chairs and restaurants full, she smiled as she walked under the great glass dome and saw her own rich reflection in the dazzlingly clean shop windows. Fortune had smiled on her, and her grandfather's will had made sure that she would never have to walk on these tiled floors at midnight. While everyone else was admiring the mosaic patterns of the floor and the smooth-cut columns, under the arched roof by the edge of the cafe's canopy, she placed a small bundle of notes under the window ledge that only a poor cleaner would find. All he could smell was the sea. It was always around him. When he fell asleep, he could hear the mocking waves roll the pebbles and sand against the rocks. Even with his heavy-duty gloves on, there was always a salty seaweed stench on his fingers. He was a seasick sailor who would have to leave the island before the day had begun. Dressed in his oilskins and life jacket, he would pull at the tiller and watch the square white houses drift into the distance as the visitors lay sleeping, ready to spend their foreign dollars and enjoy the town he loved as he fished for their supper. It's just some fields." Her voice was lost in the wind that blew across the moors. "These green fields will still be here, whether I'm bankrupt or not." She knew that these stone walls had been built by a great-grandfather, and all of her relations had worked the soil. Placing a communications tower on the top pasture had only postponed the inevitable, that the banks wanted to be paid, and they would take these moors and her farms as a payment. She looked out towards the city, got into her car, raced along the lonely road, and left her past behind her. As soon as the sun had gone down, the last trace of colour left the town at the end of the railway line. It was difficult to tell the difference between the cloud-streaked sky and the grey-roofed, high white walls of the broad townhouses. The barren trees shivered in the dark New Year's wind and cast harsh shadows on the pavement below. The train line caught what little light there was and overlooked the gardens and lives of everyone who had chosen this place so far from the city's heart. There may have been no colour here, but the city knew that it would continue to survive and wait just for the next rainbow. With the distant roar of the road and the even more distant town, the tangled mass of branches looked like bleached rib cages and helpless fingers stretching into the night. The finest twigs were lined with scarring buds that would claw and clutch at your clothes and skin. Looking down at the ground, you could see that there was a small gap between the dense undergrowth. Disturbing the rotten leaves would be the only way of being able to get out of this place.